Hi, this is Joanna from the data team here to give you a quick video presentation regarding this year's survey administration. We will do a quick overview of the family survey and go into detail regarding this year's student survey administration. With that, let's go ahead and get started. So for the family survey, you should have already received the box from Panorama Ed. The box should contain a set of general ed family surveys that has 31 multiple choice questions and one open-ended response. The survey itself is 2 pages long, printed on 1 page front and back. There are also Spanish versions of the General Ed survey that are packaged separately for your convenience. There is also another package that will include the inclusion survey that is 10 questions long. These are for the parents of students with IEPs. For the inclusion survey, the Spanish translation can also be found on the back of the survey if needed. Please encourage IEP parents to take both surveys. With the family survey, we highly recommend a parent or family night event to get the highest return rate possible. Please do not make copies of any of these surveys. If you need additional surveys, please email us at datateam@puckschools.org. Lastly, in the box that you received your surveys, a packaging slip is provided so you can send your surveys back to Panorama Ed. The same box can be used, just make sure to remove any prior labels. So now we're going to be jumping into the student survey. With the student survey, I'm going to go over a couple of changes that we're going to be doing for this year. The first change that we're doing this year is we're definitely going online. So last year we had online pilots with a few of our schools and we had great success. So a couple of things that we heard were it was easier to administer than paper. It was easier to coordinate as well. It was a faster administration. It was easier to identify the students who still needed to complete the surveys. And because it was online, we were able to get a stronger return rate than we usually do. Another change that we're doing this year is instead of doing the every student, every teacher method or the ESET method, we're going with sampling. So a little background on the ESET method that we did last year was although students took a survey for all their teachers, they would only take a portion of that entire survey, meaning they would take roughly about 6 to 7 questions of the total 25 questions that was the entire survey. This resulted in 4 different versions that were randomly distributed to students. So why are we going with sampling? So sampling is a process that helps minimize the number of surveys that a student takes by randomly assigning each student to complete only a subset of possible surveys. What that means is the student answers all 25 questions, which gives us a more holistic perception of each student surveyed, but we alleviate the survey fatigue by having students only survey between 2 to 4 teachers. In order to accommodate, we also wanted to make sure that the majority of the students are actually getting surveyed. So on average, it's roughly 70% of the students that a teacher interacts with will actually complete a survey for that teacher, which is a pretty strong representative sample. With sampling, we also limit the impact on instructional time. And sampling has actually been done at our elementary school since the inception of surveys here at Puck. So with that, I wanted to give you a quick overview of the actual student survey. So the student survey is 25 items total for the general ed, and inclusion is 22 items total. You will need roughly 40 to 60 minutes depending on your students. Students can take the survey in one sitting. One period can be designated to take all the surveys, so assigning an advisory or a homeroom. And the survey can be administered across multiple days. This is recommended for schools that are not one-to-one with computers. The student can actually start the survey and finish maybe 1 or 2 teachers and then come back at another time and finish the rest of the surveys. Below is also a overview. So the window opens Monday 2/27 and closes Friday 3/24. Then that's roughly 4 weeks to administer. In order to prepare you for the student survey, we prepared a survey toolkit or a set of materials that will help you with your coordination. So the first one is the survey administration overview, which gives you an overview of how to administer the survey, important dates, and frequently asked questions. We also included proctor instructions. So this is for the teacher or the proctors that would be administering the survey to students. It gives them a quick overview of the student survey as well as more or less a script and frequently asked questions for them to present to the students. For the administration, there is also a PUC survey web letter that is going to be needed to be printed from PowerSchool. And this is a instruction manual for the student to take the survey. So I will include an access code that they will need in order to take their survey when they enter the Panorama website. And we have included instructions and a sample of what that survey web letter will look like. There is also a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation on how to take the online student survey, and this presentation can be used for both explaining to your teachers and your proctors how the student experience for the survey administration will be like, and proctors can use this presentation to show the students how they will be accessing their online surveys. A link with digital copies of these materials will also be sent out via the email. So what can we do to prepare for the survey administration? So first off, watching this video is a great way to prepare. We also recommend that you review all the materials that we have provided in the toolkit so you are knowledgeable with all the different aspects of the student survey administration. Determine your administration date so we can inform the IT team so they can be there to support you if you would like. Meet with your school team to review and explain the process. Both the presentation and the materials that are provided can be used for explaining the process to proctors. And lastly, make sure to print out the PUC survey web letters prior to administration so they can be passed out to students. So what will be the actual experience for students? The student will have the PUC survey web letter with instructions and the access code, which actually is their PUC email address. They will go to surveys.panoramaed.com/PUC schools, and they will enter their access code to the site. They will complete the surveys and be done. What that actually looks like visually is something like this. Students will have the PUC survey web letter, which includes their access code. They will enter that access code in the Panorama website. They will start their surveys and complete their surveys. And at the end, they will have a little thank you screen saying they have completed all their surveys. Just a special note for students that were identified in your inclusion specialist caseload, they will see a survey for the inclusion teacher as well as their gen ed teachers on the same screen here. So after administration, what we will do is the data team will share your return rate. We will identify and notify if any students still need to take the surveys, and we will definitely process the data as quickly as possible so we can share it with you and your teachers. So this has been a quick overview of this year's survey administration. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. You can email us directly at datateam@pucschools.org. Thank you so much for watching.